Hi everyone, welcome to another TEFICA review. Today we're going to be looking at a movie that my son loved to watch, okay? And I want to ask us if this movie is actually made for teenagers or for adults. A cartoon movie, right? And it's also followed the trend of certain that we've been seeing so far in our review, okay? We've been seeing some of the movie. Now the introduction started with just a statue. If you can remember, I'll take you back. Okay, it started with a statue just there, and you see something move past. That is called suspense. So you want to create a suspense in your movie. You don't just want to like do movie and just put it out there. At least your movie should have suspense, so people are going to like, okay, let me sit down and see what is going to happen next. Okay, next we saw another kind of structure of mold image of people who are moved, and you're like, okay, let's just see watch and see what happened. And all of a sudden we saw a something that is moving and somebody was sitting on top. That is something that you should understand in movie making. And it came with the silent, okay, just silent, just an instrumental playing in the background, and all of a sudden we now saw the movement, and then we start having dialogue of somebody narrating, which we call narrator, narrating the story of how what actually happened, why was the country in that chaos. And that's what you want to do in your movie. You don't just want to watch movie and you're like, okay, let me just watch for entertainment sake. You watch movie to test, to understand how stories are built. Okay, that is what I want every person that is watching to watch. Okay, when you are watching a movie, don't just, if a teenager watching me now, you're an adult, you're a filmmaker, you don't just want to watch movie and say, okay, I'm watching it for entertainment sake. If you're going to be creatively minded, you should watch movie because of the story structure. Okay, are you with me? So let's same pattern of story we've seen in a certain movie where they use animation to this is like 2D animation, okay, to tell the story of what is going to happen in the 3D animated movie. Okay, so when they introduce the 3D animation, they bring a structure like this that will also bring tell the story in 2D animation. And all of a sudden after this they're going to put the name of the movie, right? They will then put the name of the movie. And so we understand this setting. If you watch certain movies, I will be bringing to you some other of these 3D animation, those made outside Nigeria and those made within Nigeria and those made in the African country like South Africa and those made outside South Africa. You're going to see this same template. Okay, my question is, why are they leveling, or why are they using the same template within all the 3D movies and 4D movies that are coming out? It's like a template. You see the same thing in every person's some of the stories, okay? And the story that has to do with an epic, because this is an epic story, okay? And I don't know if this movie was made in South Africa, because it looked like a movie that was made in South Africa. Because most of these 3D animated films are made in Africa, okay? And some of them are made outside, but they use like the African stories to actually depict whatever they are telling. So let's continue and let's see what's actually happened after this. Then this narration that we see in this movie, this is a different movie which I'll be letting the name out, and some of you have already know the name already. Okay, now this particular movie, okay, the voiceover that we see here is almost same with Moana. Okay, if you watch the setting is same as Moana, and Moana was like I don't know if it's the Caribbean stuff that they use in telling us. I'm going to find a way to bring Moana, so I will also discuss Moana. Also, we'll discuss Moana 1, 2, 3 and stuff as the case may be. We're going to find time to discuss setting of this movie, because it's very important that we discuss this movie as a filmmaker, so that we look at how people outside Nigerians are making film, people outside African countries are making film, that we can be able to copy or replicate their style of movie. By the time you replicate that style of movie, you will make it more better. Okay, so this is very important. That that's why I'm bringing this to you. It's very important that we learn filmmaking from people who are more professional than us. Okay, with so doing, you can be able to learn their ways of movie making. Now, by the way, this 2D animated style in the 3D animated world can be replicated in a normal movie. Okay, it doesn't mean that it must be in the 3D movie before you replicate this 2D, because what we're watching now here is a 2D scenario in a 3D movie. Okay, you can still replicate this same story structure or story style in a real human movie. Okay, you can still replicate this. If you're doing an AI movie, you can still replicate this. Okay, by the way, we're also doing AI training, which we have been doing AI training in other of my channels. Okay, and I've taught people how to do AI movie and stuff, and some of them will be putting some of them in this channel as well as time goes, bringing some of this AI movie here, which you'll be watching, and you won't even know if they are here. We're going to be replicating what we're learning. Okay, so it's very important that you note this. Okay, so replicate this kind of structure within your movie. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see how this fade out. That old intro. Okay, remember, is a 3D scenes that an intro was done with 2D animated character, right? Or 2D character. Now, after that, they now brought this, and listen to the sound. See, sound is key in making movies. I keep saying it. You must understand that sound is key in making movies. You don't just like put things there. Now, the sound was like the African sound, but it was mixed within the African, the Caribbean sound in this particular movie that I'm hearing right now. If you know the sound that they're playing, if it's an African or Caribbean, please leave me the comment section and tell me that this sound is a Caribbean sound or is an African sound. And if you know the country at which this sound was replicated from, also leave it in the comment section below and tell me that this is where the sound originated from, so we can be able to learn from there. And also, you know what, maybe go to those countries and get their sound from their producer, and then replicate in a movie that will be coming up, because we're going to be doing movies that you'll be watching produced by us, okay, in TEFICA, and some of them will be AI, some of them will be like real human beings movies. Okay, so let's play and let's see how this particular scene faded. Now I want to watch something in this movie. Okay, I've watched this movie like more than twice with my son. Okay, so that is why I decided to say, let me review it and ask you, my audience, what do you think about this movie? Is it good for teenager to watch this kind of movie? And if it is good for teenager to watch this kind of movie and for children to watch this kind of movie, what do you think will happen to the psychic? Okay, what do you think will happen to the psychic? Okay, so let's watch. I don't want to tell you how my son behave at home, so let's watch the way they cut. Okay, in this scene, this is also an intro. Okay, remember we have the first intro. Okay, like the intro is like 3 parts in this movie, like what I'm observing now. The first intro is the one that we saw something moving in. Okay, we saw a statue, then something moved past with speed, and then we saw statue of human being and something passed through the gate, and then all of a sudden we start hearing voice over of somebody narrating the movie, and then all of a sudden we saw from 2D it went to, from 3D went to 2D animated character, and all of a sudden after that 2D animation we then move over to seeing this particular scene, and we saw somebody just came out, and a young girl, okay, in a 3D character came out, and then he started running, tired stuff. All those little cuts are something that will keep you glued to your movie. It's not a must that you must always, depends on the movie though, depends on the movie. It's not a must that you must stretch every scene. Okay, there's any scene that you don't have to stretch. You know what you have to do in certain scene? You have to just cut within second, back, but you must cut with the beat. You don't just cut. Okay, like what they are doing. If you hear every beat, back, they cut with the beat, like 1 beat, 2 beats, 4 beats, quarter beat. They were using the sound to actually cut to the beat. Okay, so that is one thing you should know. So because this is a fight scene, okay, so pay attention to this scene and observe the way they cut, because the way you cut in a fighting scene is not the same way you cut in a normal romance scene. Okay, you should have known this by now. Okay, and sometimes the way most of these African people cut their fight scene is against the rules of cut. Okay, one that you should understand is that in as much as we have the 180-degree rules in filmmaking and in film editing, in fighting scenes sometimes you break the rules. Okay, because it is something that rules cannot hold. Okay, rules cannot be able to hold 180-degree rules. You break it because of the way the fight is coming, and then you want to keep the action intact, and at that period you are even distracted of the action. But when you have dialogue scene, you must keep to the 180-degree rule. And by the way, look at where she is. I want to see if they break the rules before the fighting, because this is like a dialogue scene. Okay, now this, we'll call this an OS, but it's not an OS over the shoulder, but this is like an OS because we are seeing the man's hand and the sword against the girl's face. Is an OS. So I believe the next shot supposed to be seen is going to be from the girl's shot to the man's shot, okay, or from here we move to a closer shot. Okay, so are you following me? So let's continue.
I know it's your job to try and stop me, but
now they now move from that to the guest C, because why? This particular scene is like a suspense, right? They've not shown the person's face. Okay, now they move from that shot that is an OS, okay, move to the guest close shot. Now let's see the shot that we're going to move to. You observe it, and if you observe whatever shot you see, please leave in the comment section below and tell me that this is the shot that I observed that went next. So I'm going to say a little bit to this. Now, from the OS shot, okay, because they want to show the sword, meaning battle is fight is about to happen. From that, we move to the guest shot, seeing the intensity in the guest face and the boldness that the girl is not scared of the person that she's seeing in front of her. Then next, we now from the guest close shot, we now goes to the guard close shot, which is very important. So take note. And because of the tension in this particular scene, that's why I was seeing this movement. The close shot on the hand to the guest medium shot, which is showing a kind of suspense and tension in the atmosphere. Move to the guest shot, showing the girls she is not afraid of what she's seeing. She is bold to face the challenge that is coming away. And then we'll move to seeing the man, which is supposed to be a scaring face, telling the girl that you need to go back, you cannot fight me. Okay, so are we good? So that is one thing you must understand when you are telling film stories. Okay, now they are not there to tell me what I'm telling you. Okay, I'm the one telling you because this is what I understand. So like I always say in our review, that you don't tell story, you show it. Okay, and what that you must know as a filmmaker, I've said this before, that you cannot interpret a scene to your audience, okay, by keeping it to your heart. You interpret it to them by showing it to them. Let them see it. Don't tell them, you show it to them. So your interpretation, you are showing to them that this is what I meant by doing this thing, rather than you say, okay, at the end of the day I will explain it to them. You will not be there to explain your movie to an audience. Take note of that. You will not be there to explain your movie to a critics. You will not be there. Except when they criticize, you're going to be writing and say, hey, this is what I meant. It's too late for you to start complaining that this is what you meant in doing that thing that you did in the movie. Are you with me? So if you're a producer, please take note of this. If you're a director, take note of this. If you're an editor, take note of this. Whatsoever you are, if you're a teenager producing, adult editing, take note of everything that we're saying in this review, because it's going to help you become better in your next movie that you're doing. Or if you have not started, if you want to start, it's going to help you to become better in the movie that you'll be working on next. Let's continue.
I promise you will not set foot on the dragon gen.
Now this particular shot now show everything, because it's talking about this gen, okay, and this is the man, okay, and this is the girl. Now this is a drone shot. Actually it's a drone shot, but since a 3D shot, still if it's a normal shot, is a drone shot. So take note of this, very important. How you tell stories and how you interpret shots is very important in delivering your story. Now with this, we can see everything in this movie is consistent. You see that this lighting is lighting this place, and you can see it behind. Oh my god, I love the way they light this thing. Look at the light behind the man, right? And look at the man's shadow. Look at this shadow. We can see that this light casts the shadow to the floor, that you can see the girl. There is no light coming in. By the way, this light is also casting the girl's shadow backward. Okay, if it's some movie, you just see that they will not even cast the shadow well. The shadow will be everywhere. But you see that this lighting is coming behind the man, and you can see that the man's back is well lit, and then you can see that this is the man's leg because this light is under his leg, and we can see that this is the face of the shadow, and this is the girl shadow. So this particular shot depicts a scenario of something is going to happen. Let's watch. Okay, and you can see the environment, see the water on the floor, and see things, and you can see the ray of the light. So please take note of this thing. If you are doing an animated scene, if you are doing a VFX scene, you must understand lighting. Lighting is very important. Don't just light because you feel like, let me light. No, light because you want to achieve certain cinematic feel in your movie. That is how you light. Let's continue. Initially I told you that in a fight scene you can break the rules, okay, but in this movie these people did not break the rules, the 180-degree rules. They were very consistent. I was watching it, okay, very consistent in keeping the 180-degree rules. By the way, if you want to learn what the 180-degree rules mean, please leave in the comment section below. I will do a class on the 180-degree rules for you, okay. Just leave it below and say, I want to learn, I want to know what the 180-degree rules, or type 180-degree rules, okay. If you type 180-degree, I will know that you want to learn the 180-degree rules. If you type I want to learn the 180-degree rules, you will learn it, okay. I will do a video on that, explaining details to you what it means, and use certain movie. We're going to be seeing in practical, where I'm going to be using movies to show you some of this movie that we're reviewing. I'll pick it and show you what it means, so that you will not be able to mess it up when you're doing, you know, your own movies, right? So in this movie they kept to the 180-degree rules without breaking it. Even the leg that was moving, I was seeing the 180-degree rules within the leg. I thought they were going to break it, but they didn't break it, okay. And finally, when the guy knocked the stick, all the stick that was knocked from the guest hand, they kept the 180-degree rules still intact, okay. If it's some people that will break the rules and they'll tell you that you can break rules, and breaking the rules is good, but in your eye it becomes distorted, okay. Person like me that is a filmmaker, when I start watching movie, I don't just watch movie because, you know, the movie is sweet. I watch it with, I've watched it like normal entertainment. The second time I'm watching the movie is to understand their principle at which they make that movie, and by the time you understand that principle, you're like, wow, so I have to, you know, do it this way. But good enough, good and bad enough, if I might say that, most at times when you watch movie thinking you are watching to a professional, you might not understand what they are doing, except you are being trained on doing that, okay. Person like me, I'm trained, so I understand this, and I'm a trainer. So if somebody like you is not a professional in movie making, watch movie, you might not see the things that I'm explaining now, right? That is why I say, if you want to learn the 180-degree rules, comment in the comment section below 180-degree. I'm going to teach you what it means and how to use it. Even though you don't want to be a filmmaker, you should also have the knowledge when you're watching movie to know that this is an error in certain movie, or is a style. 180-degree rules can be an error, it can be a style, depends on the scenario at which they are using the 180-degree rules to do their movies, okay. So let's continue. I've seen them break the 180-degree rules, okay. They've never break it, okay, and they have been consistent in keeping the 180-degree rules in this movie. I'm telling you, it's something that we should learn. If you're in Africa, or you're a newbie in filmmaking, please go and watch this movie and follow. When you get the movie, come back to this video and follow this lecture too, to understand certain things that you need to learn, to know certain names I'm mentioning, okay. You should understand them, okay. If you want to learn more about filmmaking, comment filmmaking below and tell me I want to learn more about filmmaking. I will do well to do a training on filmmaking in this channel, so that you at least it will be like a basics for you to understand the basics of filmmaking with practical visual picture that you'll be seeing to understand everything about filmmaking, so that when next you see another movie, can be able to say, okay, this movie they use this or they use that, and then you can copy that style into your own making. And I'll also teach you how to copy someone's style without the person knowing. If you want to learn that, also comment in the section, teach me how to copy without someone knowing that I copy their style. Okay, so let's continue. Of someone you trust for the first time, and then you just open them up to secrets that have been kept. So this is what every parent should teach their children. that not everybody that comes to your life the first time you should be able to open up to and start telling deep secret of the family. Okay, so children should be able to learn that as well. Teenagers learn this, that you don't just make friends today and start telling them this secret, because some of these friends come into your life in order to know your secret, and when they get it they just zoom out. Okay, so you must be careful of that. And this is what happened to this girl, because she is naive. She was, or she is naive, and then and instead of her to keep those deep secrets, she's like, okay, let it out, because this my friend gave me the dragon. If you've watched the particular scene, I did not play from there, gave me this thing, so let me go and show her a secret, because she gave me secret and she gave me some other map. Okay, and that become a tool for the other girl to enter into the inner chambers that things were kept. Okay, because this other girl knows the rules of entering in. You get? So we must understand. So teach your children not to trust people for the first time. Okay, they should leave, even no matter how long you leave the person, still study the person and see if I'm going to let her this secret or not. So let's continue. Enjoying the movie, right? I'm enjoying the movie because of the sound and everything, and you can see that the sacrifice of father love to sacrifice their self for their own children. Okay, so it's very important. Okay, you see that the father have to allow the child go so that the child can save the world, and you're going to see what the child did at the end. Just go and get the movie and watch it. You watch from the beginning and see what the child actually did, because the father told the child that the child can be able to do that stuff that the child was wired for. So please don't forget that we still have training in this August that is coming up, and everyone, you're going to be learning something wonderful in this 1 month training. You're going to be learning filmmaking, how filmmaking are done, and learn everything, how to get fake sound for your movie, how to do AI movie, you get, and it will help you go better as a filmmaker. So let me see you in class, and this is going to stop in the review of this movie. So if you want the movie, please again leave in the comment section below,